them then go to stream 1, and you can all have a go with the lectern and forwarding and stopping and doing what you can do on the lectern.
Yep, that would be good.
Right, so do you guys, have you been in already? Do you know how to get to
We can go manually or we can teleport ourselves.
Correct, yeah, perfect. So we'll meet you in stream 1 shortly.
Alright, see you there.
I'm gonna walk through it.
Okay.
Sebastian, are you blocking me?
No, not at all.
What name do I have? Because I don't really know, besides Sylvia.
You have
The
your
name
full...
that's short.
Yeah, a full one.
Sylvia med Stefanij Student Task Force. Well, it is your name.
Yes, but I prefer to have Sylvia Matilda A, not Sylvia M. Stefane. I hate my last name.
Well. Are we supposed to be able to play anything already?
I think we should wait for Nicola.
It's weird when you, like, when you're seated, your viewpoint gets a little weird.
Hi guys, I just opened the talk so everyone can speak. It's not a 3D audio, and that way we can all hear each other. So, let's see. Who has some questions?
I think a few people were wondering how to change their names.
To change their names. I think that's something that Suren sent us, and it was set. So, Adrian, can the name be changed by them?
No, only from CMS.
So it has to be Suren that changes the name. So you would have to get in touch with Nick or Chantel, I think, to request that.
Oh, so you mean the name that appears on top of our avatars, that one?
Yeah, that one's like your client ID, to say it. So it has to be changed from the back system. You won't be able to change it yourself. But if there's something that you want to change, if you just, I think Chantel has been leading that up. If you just let her know, hey, I'd like my name to appear like this instead of like this, she can edit in the back system.
Cool. Thanks.
Yeah.
There seems to be an echo though.
Are you getting an echo?
Yeah.
Me too.
Same.
Everybody has an echo.
Exactly.
Hello.
Yeah, but I think when someone talks, Danielle, you show up as talking too. So it's
So
probably yours.
it's me then. Adrian?
Yeah,
Are you gonna
I'm gonna
Okay.
check your remote configuration.
Thank you. I probably have the microphone sensitivity too high, so it's probably me.
Can you try to talk?
Okay. So it's not when I talk, it's when somebody else talks. So can somebody else talk again? I've got my microphone on.
Can you hear the echo right now?
Yes.
Yeah, I can hear it.
Are you still looking at Adrian?
Yeah, I'm looking.
Hey, I'm here. Everything okay?
Still getting everyone's getting an echo from me still. So Adrian's looking at my settings to figure out why I'm picking up on everybody else speaking when. Oops.
Okay, got you. I noticed as well in the lobby, some had messaged to say that they had to keep pressing the talk button. So you can actually change your own settings. What's it actually called, Danielle?
Yeah, so in that case, we saw that yesterday in the call. In the top right corner, you've got the settings wheel.
I think
Yeah.
that it's okay now.
What?
I think that it's okay your
echo.
microphone now.
Okay.
I don't know.
We'll try. So to not have to press talk while speaking, in the wheel, the first line that's there, that box should not be checked. If that box is checked, you have to hold down the button. If it's not checked, you just have to click once and your microphone should be on. Does that make sense?
Yep.
Yeah, it does.
Okay, right.
Oh, we've lost the open talk. I've open talk again. And you see how everybody's name is in green? That means that we all have the same speaking powers right now. It's level. So it's everyone can hear everybody in this entire room. That's one of the ways to know if you've got the talk open, everybody's names will appear in green. So this eliminates the 3D audio, right? It doesn't matter how far away you are, you'll see everybody at the same level.
Only like 3 people are in green, the rest are in yellow.
Oh, I can't see anything in yellow.
Everyone is in green.
Green too.
Yeah, everyone's in green for me.
And is my echo fixed now, guys?
Yeah.
Yeah, it seems like.
Okay. Adrian, what did you do to fix the echo? Could you tell us?
Yeah, I increment your voice activity level.
My
I
voice
can still hear the echo actually. Yeah, another.
Same here now.
We have echo again. Yeah.
It's from me. Should I change my
Well, no,
microphone?
it's not from you now. It's from Adrian.
If you can, if you reconnect your device, Daniel, please.
Which device am I using?
There's an echo when every other person is speaking except Danielle.
Yeah, you fixed
Yeah,
Danielle,
true.
Adrian, but now everybody else has got the echo.
If Adrian, if we all turn down our voice activity level, will that fix it?
Yeah, sorry. I was in your remote configuration. I think that your value of voice activity level is so low.
Too low.
Too low, yeah.
So I'm not hearing an echo from anybody else, but now I am.
Can you hear me? Am I having an echo?
Yep.
Crikey. That's weird. It's just suddenly changed. It hasn't been.
Is it something to do with the fact that we're at the lectern?
It shouldn't if I've opened the conversation.
And it actually started in the lobby, I think. Anyway, while I'm trying to sort that out, has anybody else got any questions?
Yeah. I'm supposed to be able to show something already on the exit.
Yes, you can click through. At the moment, there's just holding slides, but when you get to certain areas where we have got presentations, you will get to the presentations. So by all means, if you can see the little lectern icon there on the floor in front of the lectern. If you want to take it in turns, you're more than welcome to click on there and go through the different presentations and learn how to forward and go backwards.
Oh, okay, because that's what I saw. I tried and there were only the holding slides, so that's why.
Yeah. If you keep going, we haven't obviously had all of the presentations yet, but there are some on there. But as long as you're forwarding through the slides, that's basically what you will do with the presentations as well. But if you keep going, you'll then eventually come to one of the presentations and that will play on the large screen.
Oh, okay.
Okay. Danielle, do you think it's worthwhile showing them how to, because we're going to have to ask them to give the permissions to the speakers?
Yep.
Would it be good if you could explain how they get to that section?
Yes. I'm even thinking if I share my desktop on one of these screens up here.
Yeah, be good. So guys, what Danielle's going to do now is actually show you how you're going to need to give the permissions to the speakers as the speakers come onto the stage. Because each of the speakers won't be given any permissions. The permissions that you've got where you can access the lectern and also to share the webcam. The speakers will only be given those permissions when they come to stage and you actually give them those permissions. Okay? So Danielle's going to show you on her desktop on one of these large screens how you actually access. So I think, is that you there on the top screen, Danielle?
Put it in the top right. Should I just put it in the big one?
Yeah, you might as well, yeah. There we go. So if you all look at the big screen behind us.
It's gonna show the window and window and window.
Oh, I see.
Well,
you can still see.
You can get the picture. Yeah. So let's say you come in here and the remote configuration that we talked about yesterday. So the second to last option here at the bottom.
So you basically
when you click
have to,
on an avatar.
Oh, sorry, Danielle. So you would have to click on each of the speakers. So as they arrive on the stage, you would click on them, and then this is what Danielle's showing you now.
Look, in this case, she doesn't have either of these checked. So you could help speakers out by checking this bottom one, the top button. Oops. And apply. The speaker has to accept it. And then for permissions, if the speakers need use presentations, you just need to make sure that this box is checked here.
Now, does that also give them the option to be able to share their webcam, Danielle, use presentations?
We should check share desktop and use presentations.
And that will also allow them to be able to do the webcam?
Yeah.
Okay.
With that. And VIP, they should all be VIP as well. That way you can get them into any room that they need to get into.
Yeah.
But I think most of them will be VIP before.
They will,
just in case.
Yeah.
Just in case you see the speakers as they come in, if they don't have any of these checked, come in, check, apply, or even refresh, make sure that it's done, and then the speaker should have those permissions. Keep in mind, they will have those permissions as long as they stay in this room. If they leave the room, if you guys go on break and they come back and they have part 2 or something, when they come back into the room, check those permissions again. Because when they leave the room, they will lose the permissions that you give them in the moment in the room.
So does that make sense, guys? So basically, when the speakers, if you are on the stage and your task is to take care of the speakers and also to forward through the presentations, as soon as the speaker arrives on the stage, you should click onto their avatar, and do exactly what Danielle's just showed. So you click onto permissions, and then you make sure that they're ticked, everything's ticked apart from Fly. If you like, you can click on me or click on anybody that stood around you, just so you can check where that permissions is.
Yeah, so I was just saying that we don't have, like, when I click on someone, I don't see remote configuration at all in the options.
Me neither. Yep.
Same
Okay.
here.
Just bear with me 2 seconds. Let me contact Chantel and I'll ask her to add that. 2 minutes. Okay, Danielle, Chantel's just adding that remote configuration on. Guys, do you have any other questions while we wait for the remote configuration to be added? No.
Yeah, I have one. I can see a record button on the screen. I just want to know what that does, since we have to use the game player to record sessions anyways.
Yeah, exactly. So that is another way to record. However, the reason we're asking you to record via game player rather than the record through Virtway is that if you do by accident come out of Virtway, it will continue to record and it won't lose your file. So rather than use the record button that you can see there on the top right, don't use that one. Use the game player as we showed you yesterday. So Control Windows and G. That makes sense?
Yeah, it does. Thank you.
Great, great. Any other questions, guys?
Can you just remind me how we change the view from the back of the avatar to not seeing the avatar?
Of course. So on the top right, can you see the camera next to the record button? There's like a video recorder on the top right of your screen. You should see a video recorder.
Yeah, found it. Thanks.
Great. So it might be a good idea, especially if you are going to be recording or at least explaining to other people how they record, if you have a go of having a record and saving it down and getting it prepared, ready to be sending it through to our team. Danielle, the echo seems to have sorted now, doesn't it?
Oh, can you hear me?
Yeah.
Yep. So in the settings section, if you go down to the very bottom, it says something like automatically save chat log. Does that mean if we've spoken to a participant or somebody else previously, that every time we log in, that chat log is still there, or does it disappear?
So that chat log is basically saved to your own local computer, and it's the chat, the text chat at the bottom left-hand side.
Yep.
So, similar to when you're downloading documents or when you're downloading, say, like a Zoom recording, it saves in your document file. Well, you'll see that if you do some chat now, for instance, and then you go to those documents after the session, you'll see that it's automatically saved there for you, but it's only local to your own device.
Oh, I see. So, for example, if we've said, say I spoke to you in the chat in a stream somewhere once, every time I log in, that's not all going to be saved on the app. It's just to my computer.
Correct, exactly. Yep. So every time you log out of from one scene to another, the chat that you had will disappear, basically.
Good to know.
Okay. Good questions, guys. Any other questions like that? It's good for you to ask as many questions as you can, because it gets it out of the way, because I'm sure you're going to be asked all the different questions by the delegates.
When you give contact information, and you change what are you like?
What you share?
To everyone? Yeah, what do you share?
You sure can. When you go to your avatar wardrobe, so when you click on your wardrobe, there's a profile update there where you can click on the profile and you can basically update any of that private contact information that you want to share.
All right.
Okay. So the way you get back to there, just in case you don't know, is you can press the back button, and then when you go to the main scene list, you will then see a little heads icon at the top, and that's how you get back to your avatar wardrobe. And within there, you can update your profile.
Yes. Okay.
So, guys, I've just been told that your permissions have been changed now, so you should be able to do that self-configure.
So I can.
The remote configure. You may need to log out and log back in for it to appear, unless you can see it now. Can anybody see it?
No, I can.
Okay.
So I probably have to.
So if you want to, we'll stay here in the in stream 1. So if you want to log out and come back in at your own time, and let's see if it works, and you should then be able to remote configure.
All right, be right back.
Great. Anybody else got any other questions?
Okay. I think you can hear me now.
Can hear you now, Danielle, yeah.
I went back in the sound wizard because I was speaking and no one could hear me.
No. Yeah, I can hear you now.
And without an echo, I hope.
Without an echo, yeah, sounding perfect.
Yeah. I was asking before, when they're recording, do you want the buttons to show with the user interface buttons, or do you want the person that's recording to remove those as well?
It doesn't actually matter, to be honest. If it means that it's one less thing that they've got to think about, it doesn't matter.
Okay.
Yeah.
Keep it less complicated.
Yeah, exactly. So I've just been asking everybody to log back out and then log in, just so for remote configuration.
Yep.
So hopefully, as they're coming back in, they can now see that as an option.
Yep.
Guys, anybody that's logged in and logged out and can see it?
Yes.
Yeah, I can see it now.
Perfect. That's great news. I'm getting that echo again.
Was the echo coming from me? Balance it.
So guys, anything else? Any more questions? Danielle, do you think there's anything else we should show at this stage?
I was just going to ask if everybody looks in that top left corner with the little arrow that's coming out under the back button. I want to make sure that everyone has the voice options there.
Yep. Speak to all, hear everyone, close talk.
Very good. Okay, I'm going to close talk. So when you want to be like the voice of God and make announcements, you need to use speak to all option. So right now, if you can see, everybody's names are in orange and you all can hear me, correct? Raise your hand if everybody can hear me. Okay, great. I'm going to open the talk again so we can all hear each other. Okay, so now we can all hear each other again. So make sure when you want to do the speak to all option and make announcements, you'll notice when you click it, everyone else will turn orange. So that's just an indicator of that everybody is listening to everything that you say.
And that's speak to all, yeah?
Yeah, that's when you click speak to all.
Yeah, so just to remind you about that from yesterday, at the beginning of every session and before you start the session, we're just going to ask you to make that announcement, just to say, please can everybody remember to turn off their talk button, so to turn it from red to orange. So what Danielle just showed you there is exactly how you make that talk to all announcement.
When you click mute all, how long does it keep that way during the session?
It's actually missing a word. I'm not sure where it went, but it should say mute for all. So that's an individual mute button. So you're muting that person for everybody, but basically what it's doing is turning off their microphone. So if they have the talk button on, it's going to deactivate the talk button. And if they want to speak again, they can just hit the talk button again. So it's not muting per se permanently or anything like that. It's just turning off their microphone that maybe they left on accident. So that was the good one. We said, maybe someone in the audience, it appears that they're talking, but it's really just cars driving by the window or the dog barking in the background that's coming through their microphone because they've left it on. So that option there is really good to control people that maybe don't even realize they've left their microphone on. So you can just hit mute for all, and that turns off their microphone.
And Danielle, just to check, for our cloned rooms when we reach capacity for these stream 1 and 2, those announcements talk to all, where they do make their announcements to say, can you turn your microphone off? That is, they are going to hear in all of the other rooms as well. Any speaker that's on the stage, they'll hear that, will they?
Yeah, as long as they're on the stage.
So as long as they're on stage, but if they use that arrow at the side, the talk to all or the speak to all, that will also go across all the different stream rooms.
Should be. Adrian, can you confirm that from a technical point of view?
Sorry, I couldn't hear you.
She was saying, so some of these rooms are going to be duplicated because there'll be more once we go over the 300 or whatever the number is that's set. When they use the talk to all button to make announcements like the voice of God, will that be replicated as well in the duplicate room?
No, only in one room.
So with the announcements that they make, it needs to be done per room.
Yeah.
And if they make the announcement from the presentation board, that would, if they did the announcement from here, it would go to every room.
So we need to not tell them then to do it via talk to all, but to do it via the lectern?
Yeah, by the lectern, or have each person per room do it.
But how do we get people in per room?
So because everybody's VIP, we can get people into any room.
But what I mean is, where does that second, third, fourth cloned room show? How do we get from the? Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, we'll have to do a trial run of that, and I can show you the steps. I think we should get hopefully next week we can set that up and give it a completely clear example. We can record it and show how to get into the duplicate room.
Yeah, but regardless of that, as long as they make the announcement via the lectern microphone, that solves that issue anyway, does it?
Yeah.
Okay. So yeah, if you could sort that out for next week, Danielle, that would be great. But for the time being, guys, I don't know whether you just heard any of that, but basically, if you do want to make an announcement, and as you make that announcement to everybody, just always be sure to do it through the microphone on the lectern, because then you know that everybody in all of the duplicated rooms will actually get the message. So I don't know whether you remember yesterday, but I mentioned that during the very large sessions and the busy session rooms, we are going to be cloning the rooms, because obviously these rooms can only hold so many people because of bandwidth. So they will be getting duplicated and cloned. So to make sure that any announcements that you make are heard in those other rooms, you do need to make sure that you make the announcement via the lectern microphone and not by the talk to all that we've just showed you. Anybody got any questions?
Yeah, under speak to all, what does the close talk do?
That closed talk, so Danielle, the closed talk is basically what Danielle set up so we can all hear each other. Is that correct, Danielle?
Exactly. So if you hit close talk, it's going to reinforce the 3D audio again.
So we won't all be able to hear each other all over like we can at the moment.
So that would be if maybe the speaker wants to break everybody up into groups, or depending on what kind of room you're in, you want the 3D audio activated so people can have group chat without everybody hearing each other and all the different groups. But in this case, since we all want to speak together at once, we want this to be open. We all need to hear each other at the same level. But if you close that, it'll just have the spatial audio.
So Danielle, in the masterclass room, so in stream 3 to 6, if a student in there, if they want everybody to have a full discussion wherever they are in those stream rooms in stream 3 to 6, then if they do talk to all, they'll be able to have that big group discussion.
Yeah, exactly. It might have been something you were asking earlier. I thought it was taken care of, but yeah, to do that in those rooms, you can just open the talk and everybody can hear everything, no matter where you are in the room.
I'm so sorry to interrupt. One of the other STF members is in the lobby and he's not able to get to stream 1, and I've tried to invite him a few times, but apparently it says he doesn't have access. Oh, how that can be solved.
Let me have a quick look.
Okay, his name is Roshit.
Rashid, okay.
Well, I wanted to ask that topic. If everybody's seen in the very top right corner, the user search option. So imagine you're in an event and you don't know where the speaker is, like we talked about yesterday. In the right, you can see that he's there. He doesn't have anything next to his name, which means he's not anywhere in a room. He's in the application. Perhaps he's creating his avatar. We don't know. But you could click on his name and invite him to you. Or in the case for during the event, yours would be looking for a speaker and bringing the speaker to you. Does everyone see that user search option and how to invite them to your position or for you to go to their position?
Yes, I can see it.
Okay.
Nicola, he says that the invite that you sent him also hasn't worked.
No, don't worry. Chantel's actually just changing his permissions. Not totally sure, but she's just checking it anyway to see that his permissions are updated.
Perfect, thank you.
And guys, one of the other things that we quickly talked on yesterday, so they've got the user search in the top right, and you've got the map there underneath the user search, which was just to have an overview of what we have in the room. It's not really anything that you'll need. And then there's the wee avatar with the circles around him. So those are going to be your different points. So in this particular room, if you quickly need to get to the stage or you quickly need to get to the start position, remember you have those start points in each room to kind of transport your avatar as quick as possible to wherever you may need to be. In the case that you don't have enough time to run or whatever. And each room might have some of these start points that are defined by Seren or by Amy. Like in the lobby, you have all the different points to get to all the different rooms. And each room will kind of have its own little start point. So just be aware of that in the case that you need to get somewhere a bit quicker.
So who was it that was talking to Roshi in the lobby?
It was me, Fatima.
Oh, brilliant. Fatima, do you mind letting him know that we've just updated it? He hadn't been ticked for the correct permission. So could you ask him to log out and log back in, and then he should have exactly the same as you?
Okie dokes, will do.
Thanks very much. Any more questions, anybody? Now, guys, what we are going to ask you, I've noticed that some of you have quite cleverly been able to change your colour of your T-shirt. We actually do need you to remain with the original colour, because the whole point is that the delegates will get used to the colour that you have, so they can recognise you from far away. So we will send an email around, but is it possible for you to all go back to that dressing room of the email that we sent to you, just to dress in the original student task force uniform, if possible, please? No problem with the jeans or shorts or whatever. It's just that we need you to have the correct colour T-shirt, if possible, please. So all the same colour. So when you originally go to the dressing room, it will put you in the blue colour, that light blue colour. You need to keep that colour, the light blue colour. So if you have already changed it, if you go back to the dressing room from the email that you were sent with the instructions to put the STF uniform, you just need to redo those whole steps basically and put the original colour back on, if that's okay.
White inscription as well, right?
Say that again, sorry.
White inscription as well, right?
Yes, please. Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
Yeah. So it's just basically if you recap over the instructions you originally sent, it will just put you back to the original version.
Is it possible to have a long sleeve version of the same shirt as well?
Let me check. Is that possible, Danielle? Can we have the version?
I'll check on that.
Thank you.
No problem. I'll double check.
Fatima, we'll come back to you on that one if that's okay.
Yeah, no worries.
Yeah, so I'm trying to access the program, but it's telling me I can't access this page. I don't know if it's just me.
The program, the actual conference program.
Okay, now it's working. So
Great. Okay.
I was just gonna ask.
Oh,
sorry.
Natasha, go on.
Oh, so when I press any of the buttons, like to open the program or the map or anything, the volume gets really low. I can barely hear anyone talk anymore. Is there any way of not letting that happen?
Unfortunately, when you do open the program, it kind of the memory focuses in on that, and it'll happen as well if you're in some of the settings. You'll stop hearing as much around you because it's focusing on what you're opening. So the only way to go back to hearing is to close out what you have open in the app.
Okay, no worries.
Guys, the other thing I wanted to make clear, and this is quite a really important point, that I don't know whether you've noticed, but because you've been given permissions, certain permissions, when you click on any of the presentation screens, you can obviously ask that it comes up in full screen, so show in full screen. If you select show full screen, you'll see some arrows at the bottom of the full screen. That is actually allowing you to forward through the content that everybody is seeing. So it's really, really important that you only forward through the lectern and not through the full screen, because it's not just you that's forwarding, you're forwarding it for the whole audience. Does that make sense?
Yes.
So if you're in the audience, for instance, and you're just watching, please remember not to press on any of the arrows because you're going to forward the whole content for everybody.
Oh, okay. I understand now.
Great. Does anybody else not understand that point, just because it's quite important, that point? Anybody else?
I was wondering if you could spell Chantel's email.
Of course, yeah. So it's Chantel, which is CH. Do you know? I'll send it to you on private chat. Who was asking that question? Sorry.
Sylvia.
Great, Sylvia. I'll send you a private message now with it in.
Okay, thank you.
Okay.
Hi, I just joined the idea that you were just speaking about sitting out in the audience and then changing the screen to full screen. Could you please say that again so I don't miss it?
Yeah, sure. So what that basically is because all the student task force have been given full permission, speaker permission, which means that you're able to forward through the content. Obviously, when you're on stage and at the lectern, you can forward through all of the content that all of the participants, all of the delegates will see. However, what you're also able to do is when you click on any of the screens, wherever you are in the room, if you click on the screen, you'll notice it gives you the option to make show full screen. So if you do that now and select show full screen, you'll see that there's the arrows at the bottom of the screen, which are the same arrows that you get at the lectern. That is going to allow you to forward the content for everybody in the room. So it's not just you, it's everybody. So it's really important that you don't do that, because obviously it's only the people that are on the lectern should be forwarding through the content. Okay, that makes sense?
Thank you. Yeah, that makes sense. So would it be just good practice then not to at all make full screen from when you're sitting in the audience, and only do those things when you're up in the lectern then?
I completely agree, and I wish, to be honest, that option wasn't there at all for people in the audience. So yeah, the point is that just in case you do it by mistake, it's best not to do it in full screen. Yeah.
Just be aware, guys. I think more than anything is, we don't take lightly giving special permissions to the people. So the audience don't have access to do that. And you guys do have these special permissions. So you do need to be very aware that you have them, and be careful where you're using them. And then when the speakers do come on and you are giving them permission to the screen and whatnot, they need to know as well, like, these are very special permissions to have. So just to be aware of that, and don't overuse your powers, right?
But when we have to record a presentation, shouldn't we put it full screen to have the presentation?
When you're what? Sorry, when you're watching a presentation?
When we're recording a presentation, like the Q&As, for example?
No, you don't have to do that full screen. You can just basically do it as you're viewing now, as long as you're stood at the front of the stage, because it's quite nice for the people at home that, or the people that are watching it on demand, because they can still see the content on the screen. But during Q&A, normally there's no content actually on the screen anyway, apart from if they're webcam sharing. It's just picking up their audio. So when you're recording, you don't have to do it full screen. Just do it as what you're seeing, basically.
Oh, okay.
Okay. Right, guys. Any more? Oh, go on. Sorry.
Oh, sorry. Just a quick question. I don't think this concerns us, but next to the program, there's invitation codes to generate code or enter codes. I don't think that concerns us, but what is it?
Sorry, say that again. What does it do?
The code.
Next to the program button, there's a code button.
Oh, yeah. Danielle, you want to explain what that is?
Yeah, I don't think anybody will particularly need to use it unless you're told a code to go somewhere. So you won't need to generate any codes. But perhaps there's going to be a VIP room. We need all the student task force to go to a private room, for example. So there will be a code generated. Only you guys will have the code. And if you need to go to that room, you enter that code in there, and it'll take you to the private room. But I don't know if there's anything in the program specifically for you guys to need to use that. Again, the generate code option is part of your special permissions that you have as a student task force working this event. So you won't really, I don't think you'll need to use it at all.
No, I don't think I will.
But in the case you need to do like a super VIP urgent meeting or something, and we give you a code, it's usually 4 or 5 digits. That's where you could enter the code there to just be transported over to a private room, so we could all have like an urgent meeting in the case that it needs to happen, but I don't think it will.
Right, thanks, Danielle. So, guys, you're more than welcome to carry on. I've got the echo back again, by the way, but and to help yourself move around, go to all of the different scenes and all of the different rooms, and have a good old play about. And then, if you have any questions, I'm going to be in the platform, so you can either come and speak to me again wherever I am, find me, or come and join me wherever I am, or email me. But otherwise, we're going to leave now. But yeah, please give us a shout. Any more questions before we leave? No, great. Well, listen, thanks ever so much for your time. Like I say, if any more questions come up, we will be contacting you again close to the event as well for any more sessions. So please give us a shout if you've got any questions. But thanks a lot for your time.
Guys, I'll be in and out of the platform as well too. So if you find me in that user list and you have a question or something, feel free to bring me to wherever you are.
Great. Thanks very much, guys.
Thanks.
Bye.
Bye, guys.
Bye. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks. Bye. All right, party. No, I'm joking.
I'm trying to put my webcam on one of those screens, but it's not working.
Did you try going to
Mine
like
is.
the presenter panel?
Oh,
Oh,
That's so cool. Who's that,
That
up
is very
there?
cool.
That's so
That's
cool.
Eve.
Who's that up there?
Hi, Eve.
Oh yeah.
Nice to see you.
Hey, it's working.
Nice to see you.
How do I remove myself?
So, Rashid, how does it feel
Yeah,
like to be
Rashid,
here?
we can see you too. Yeah.
Yay, I
Oh
could
my
add
god, I'm
my
on
photo.
TV. This is I'm famous for
Oh
a
my
little
God, I'm
while.
on TV. This is I'm famous for a little while.
So, Fatima, come on TV with me.
Fatima, come on TV with me.
Oh, mine doesn't work because I'm on my iPhone. Yeah, so you can only share. Yeah, I don't think you can share webcam from Mac or Apple products.
Do we have to delete them before leaving, or they will be deleted automatically? We don't want someone to just enter the room and then see us.
Moment of fame.
Who's that?